Mary, Queen of Scots, lived a life so dramatic. It feels almost destined. Crowned as a newborn, adored as a teenage queen, undone by passion, and ultimately destroyed by the politics that followed her from birth. Mary Stuart was born on December 8th, 1542. The only surviving legitimate child of King James V of Scotland. Her arrival came at a moment of deep crisis. Her father had already lost 2 infant sons, and after a humiliating military defeat against England, his health collapsed. When he learned that his final heir was a daughter, legend says he whispered that the crown had come with a lass, and would end with a lass, before dying at only 30 years old. 6 days after she was born, the tiny child became Queen of Scotland. With an infant on the throne, the kingdom fell under regency, and England moved quickly. King Henry VIII proposed that Mary one day marry his son, Prince Edward, binding the 2 kingdoms together. The agreement was briefly accepted, then violently rejected. Scottish Catholics feared English domination, and Henry responded with force, launching a campaign remembered as the Rough Wooing. With English armies advancing, Scotland turned to its oldest ally, France. At just 5 years old, Mary was sent across the sea. She was raised at the French royal court, educated as a future queen, fluent in languages, trained in music, poetry, and riding. She grew tall, graceful, and confident, admired for both her beauty and her intellect. She was raised alongside Francis, heir to the French throne, and when Mary was 15, the 2 were married in a magnificent ceremony at Notre Dame. Within a year, Mary became Queen of France and Queen of Scotland. But happiness did not stay long. After less than 2 years of marriage, Francis fell ill and died. Mary, still a teenager, was suddenly a widow. With no child to secure her place, she left France and returned to Scotland after 13 years away. The country she returned to was divided and dangerous. Protestantism had taken hold, and Mary remained a devout Catholic. Though she tried to rule with restraint, mistrust surrounded her. Worse still, her bloodline gave her a powerful claim to the English throne. Many Catholics believed she was the rightful queen, and Elizabeth I knew it. Elizabeth refused to name Mary as her heir. Marriage became Mary's next strategy. She chose her cousin, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, tall, charming, and of royal blood. At first, Mary was captivated, but Darnley soon revealed a darker nature. He was arrogant, jealous, and violent. When rumors spread that Mary was too close to her Italian secretary, David Rizzio, Darnley acted. One night, in front of the pregnant queen, Rizzio was dragged away and stabbed repeatedly. Mary was left traumatized, yet months later she gave birth to a son, James, securing the Stuart succession. But the marriage was broken. Darnley fled in fear for his life, then fell mysteriously ill. On the night of February 9th, 1567, the house where Darnley was staying exploded. His body was later found nearby, untouched by fire, but clearly strangled. Suspicion immediately fell on Mary, and on her ally, James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell. Though acquitted in a rushed trial, public outrage only deepened when Mary married him just 3 months later. Whether coerced or complicit remains debated, but the consequences were swift. The nobles rebelled, the people turned. Mary was captured, imprisoned, and forced to abdicate the throne in favor of her infant son. She would never see him again. Mary escaped captivity and attempted to regain power, but failed. With nowhere left to turn, she crossed into England, believing her cousin Elizabeth would help her. Instead, she was placed under guard, beginning 19 years of imprisonment. Though treated as royalty, Mary was never free. Her presence inspired repeated plots against Elizabeth. Eventually, intercepted letters appeared to show Mary consenting to Elizabeth's assassination. That was enough. In February of 1587, Mary, Queen of Scots, was led to her execution. She faced death with dignity, dressed in red, the color of Catholic martyrdom. The execution was brutal and chaotic, and when it was over, one of Europe's most tragic queens was gone. Elizabeth ruled for 16 more years, and died without an heir. The English crown passed not to her line, but to Mary's son. James VI of Scotland became James I of England, uniting the kingdoms at last. Mary lost her crown, her freedom, and her life. But in the end, it was her bloodline that endured.